So Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, you know what? I love them both. Romie Reviews here, by the way. I love them both. I love them both for different reasons. And so this is how this is going to go. I don't think I really verbalized it, but I'm not going to go and do this back and forth and report on every time one person supposedly says this thing about the other person. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say a final message, which is this, and just support them both individually, and keep it pushing. Apparently, we already know that the fans usually, and really the stands, go and they gas this up. They make it bigger than what it actually is. But we do know that the women, that they did have prior issues. Certain things are confirmed. Remember, we were hearing that Nicki and Cardi both were telling certain other rappers and artists and whatevers that you can't work with this one, you can't work with that one. Now we know it's true. Before they were both saying but they both confirmed it. And look, some of it is dumb, because the whole thing of Nicki saying, oh, I turned down this deal, and what you sound like saying, oh, this deal, that deal that you turned down. And this is true. They're both too blessed to be going and talking about this stuff, because none of this is just guaranteed. None of this is just for certain it'll stick around forever. We understand that Cardi B, even though she does rap, and she's mainly does rap, that she doesn't want to just be strictly called a rapper, because she acknowledges she collaborates with other people as far as writing material. Nicki Minaj, she writes her own stuff, so she wants to be called a rapper, and that's part of the problem. It's more so the industry than the two ladies. They both made it very clear about how they want themselves to be represented. Then there's everyone else around them that says, oh, well, we know that's what you say, but no, you have to believe people, and sometimes, embrace them and accept them for what it is. Cardi going and talking about how the Met Gala thing, I'm sure she's very frustrated, because I'm sure still to this day with Hennessy, apparently Mariah Lynn also is dealing with some Nicki Minaj fans that were going at her and all this stuff. Like I said, the fans do all this gassing up, and then I feel like these ladies really don't care on a day-to-day basis. They just become irritated when someone else brings it back up again, and it's like it never stopped, it never left, and they're tired of it. And so then we see these back and forths. Then we see Nicki go on her radio show, and she actually talked about a lot of real stuff and interesting stuff, well, at least for me. And then a blurb having to do with Cardi, and that's what the media focuses on, because that's what people really care about. And that's the thing that irks me. And then with Cardi hopping on Instagram and being frustrated and talking about, I'm glad that she's in a better place, where she's even said that whole thing of, we can either talk, meaning that she's actually okay with talking, probably realizes some of this is just really stupid, a lot of this is really stupid, or we can scrap, which no one I'm sure some of you want to see that, but I don't. And Nicki said that it's pretty much done. There was also some little things about, again, who's working with who. I think Cardi mentioned something about Lil Mix, and so then Lil Mix had to say, again, love them both. And it's just that Nicki reached out to them before Cardi, and they did weigh both. The thing was, they've been trying to work with Nicki for a very long time, so that's why they went with Nicki. And so it's like, you shouldn't even have to explain yourself. And this is common sense stuff. And because fan bases and blogs want to go and make this bigger than what it is, a lot of it's petty. A lot of it is petty. Some of it is disrespectful, but a lot of it's just petty. And petty sells. I get it. Petty sells. I get it. Petty sells. So they've made a pact that both of them are going to try. That's what I'm going to say. Try to just bury it. I just hope that, when you're upset, and sometimes you go and say or acknowledge or co-sign certain things when you're upset, that you really don't care about, but it's just in the moment. I hope that they didn't do anything individually that's going to come out like a week later that'll make the other one say, oh really, oh word, because that's how that's how the industry is as well. Who knows, like Nicki could have like 2-3 more songs lined up that was mentioning certain situations. And speaking of Nicki, this is my thing for this entire year with Nicki. Nicki's problem isn't with Travis Scott. Nicki's problem isn't with Cardi B, really. It's with the industry as a whole trying to push her out, because she's been around for 10 years now, and as a female rapper consistently mainly focusing on music and everything that surrounds music, that's not something we've seen in a long time. So now it's a time where we have someone else who also became mainstream in raps, because there's always been people like Rhapsody, Dreezy's been around for a while now, and Cash Doll has been around for a little while now. We have Asia Doll. So there's been a lot of female rappers that have names for themselves. It's just the mainstream, because of the type of music that they do, it didn't fit the pocket of mainstream enough. So that's why Nicki Minaj's success was even bigger, because she definitely deserved it, but that's why it was even bigger, because she was able to go mesh and meld and change her image in the sense where she was able to adapt to the times. And I think right now we have the issue of there's a lot of fun music and party music, and Nicki doesn't want to do that. So now we have Cardi B, who's like, hey, this is what people like, that's what I'm going to put out. And that's perfectly fine. But we need to understand that they are two very different artists. They're two very different performers. The only thing that they have in common is that they're both women who come from like Caribbean descent. That, like, in all honesty, and from New York. That's really it. That's really it. Everything else is almost completely different. And instead of us allowing them to embrace their own individual differences, we're like, this person irritated me, so yeah, let's use this other person, where the other person doesn't want everything to do with it. And then the original's like, wait a minute, I had no issues with that person, so what's the real problem now? That's why this was a longer video than I thought. I just wanted to say, from this day forward, I am not gonna go. Actually, I haven't been, so I'll say I continued not to go and just talk about every little thing that they do, because it irks me. Both of them annoy me when it comes to this responding stuff. I get it, there's so many things going on, and I don't like the death threats that Cardi B and her family's receiving. That's disgusting. I also don't like the stuff that, the other side, not Cardi B, but let's say her fans, for example, maybe certain people in the industry are doing to Nicki. It's unnecessary. Let everyone be great, or let them be good, whatever. And if you don't like them, then move on. I don't have enough time in my life. I don't have enough energy in the day to go and just focus on things I don't like. There's a lot of foolishness stuff going on in the world that I don't like, that I only talk about when people bring it up, but that's it. I don't even think about it, because that's energy drainers. Why would I do that to myself? Why would I do that to other people around me? I have better things to do. I have a lot I want to accomplish. And that's what I want to say. Let these women go and be themselves, be great, be happy, be successful. Stop focusing on trying to make something that isn't there. We get it. They both have issues with each other. They're not going to be the best of friends. It doesn't matter. All that matters is they're both successful on the charts. They have large fan bases that do need to calm down. There's a lot of pettiness. They're actually similar in certain regards, which makes sense why they react. Period. Not in the same ways, but period. I just want the best for both of them. I really do. I really, really do. So that's it. Please like, comment, subscribe. I was open. Yeah, that's all I got.